Welcome to Oddball History, dipshits. There used to be this, I used to live in these apartments in Dallas, and there used to be this old guy that I'd never see him run, but he would always walk, and he was jacked, and he looked fucking mad. He looked like, he was just like looking for a fight every day, like he would go out.
I know that vibe.
Yep. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I liked him. I respected him.
Sometimes I respected his authority.
Sometimes I drove by him and I was like, what's this guy's problem? But mostly I appreciate that worldview and approach to life. Getting really buff as an elderly man and just going out every day and
letting people know.
Yeah. The older guy with the six-pack is like a weird vibe. You know, like when you're like over 50.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of hormone replacement, too, to achieve that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Disturbing look.
I was surrounded by a pack of them the other day.
Ooh.
Jacked elderly men?
Yeah. It was wild, dude.
Was it FOE?
Yeah, I was running
aged beefcakes.
A bunch of,
Lawrence doesn't discriminate on the beefcakes.
I know.
Dry aged prime American beef.
Beefcakes. Yeah. And I was jogging on the Katy, not to brag, I was jogging on the Katy Trail, and nice. they put in like that fitness thing on the trail. So like I just stopped it. I was like, I'm going to do like some pull-ups.
Yeah, like those rails where you can do prisoner dips.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen the 1950s high school video of all the kids doing that?
Dips.
Where they had like the rails you could travel on and just everyone was shredded.
You know who also is big on those is the Taliban. Remember them? They were always doing those and the little monkey bars.
Shane
I
Gillis.
wonder if those ever came in to play for them.
the ability to do the monkey bars?
If they were ever separated from their goal by some monkey bars that they had to cross. You know? There were ever infidels on the other side, and all they had was like an upturned ladder.
And they looked at each other like, this is what we trained for.
This is what we trained for.
Shane Gillis had that in his special, making fun of the jumping jack video.
The new one or the old one?
The new one.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's great. Like, I haven't
funny.
seen it, but like I've seen the clips of him talking about
Super
that.
funny.
How he's like cheering for the Taliban. He's like, more my speed. It's like their feet move when they shoot a gun. You know, he's like doing
But speaking of beefcakes on Katy Trail, have you had a Troy Aikman sighting? I don't think he lives over there anymore, but I knew a bunch of people that would see him run on the Katy Trail.
And
he's just fucking rocked up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine.
He is an in-shape gentleman.
I think rocked up means like erect.
I wasn't there to
I think
clarify.
rocked up.
Both.
I think rocked up or bricked up means
Bricked up. Okay.
Yeah.
No one's gonna tell him no.
D's hard.
He owns this city.
Just like Deshaun Watson. No one's going to tell him no either.
Oh, no, they told him no. I think they told him no so many times they had to file a report.
Dude, he was face masking everyone last night. I really appreciated it, actually, as a quarterback to see that.
Yeah.
He was going fucking wild. He was like when they first put in Sunshine and Remember the Titans, and he was like, I got to win these guys respect. I have long hair. I got to do some badass shit immediately.
Everyone thinks I'm a sexual predator. I need to do illegal things on the field to prove them wrong.
Everyone at school, when they're hurling racist racial epithets at my teammates, they always stop and say to me, we don't care for you either. I got to show them, you know?
Yeah. But speaking of beefcakes.
And Deshaun Watson, if you ever want to come on the podcast, we do have an extra mic.
We can get a fourth mic.
We can get a fourth mic.
We are going to wait for you to agree before we purchase it.
Yeah. Honestly, you should purchase it yourself. I think you've got the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Have we heard back from Padma on that, by the way?
We haven't heard back from Padma. Still waiting on it. But speaking of beefcakes, today's topic is another beefcake.
The 1970 People's Sexiest Man Alive.
Ooh.
We got to put a picture of him up at this point, or the joke will not make sense, because you do not know what Tom Dempsey looks like.
Tom Dempsey, the kicker. He had the longest holding length, longest kick.
Longest field goal that stood for over 40 years.
63 yards.
When the record was 56.
Yep, and Tom Dempsey was a fat man.
I love
he was a hefty dude.
Yeah. Sweet mustache.
The main thing, we're kind of buried in the lead. The main thing.
Oh, he was a beefcake.
Oh, that was
a bear, they'd call him.
Yeah, he was a big old teddy bear.
Yep.
Old Tom Dempsey. But he was born with no toes on his right foot, no fingers on his right hand. But that didn't stop him from being a good athlete. And
one of my favorite things was old NFL films about him, just that voice of the guy.
Tom Dempsey.
Tom Dempsey, born with a deformed right and left foot, but with an intense desire to compete.
I do love that. Where they flash up on like the NFL, like they'll be like, I'm from Mississippi State. Arizona State. Like, he just pops up. He's like, I was born without a right arm.
Or if you see Tom Dempsey,
No fingers or toes university.
or Tom Dempsey, if you see him, you're just like, his thing pops up and he's like, local 792 Plumbers Union. He looks like if you had like a racist drawing of a New York plumber.
Yeah.
Of like an Italian Irish man.
Yeah.
He looks a
He's
little bit
that.
like the country singer Vince Gill to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Like
Vince
if Mario
Gill
hit
looks
Princess
like?
Peach a lot?
Yes, if Mario abused Princess Peach, that is Tom Dempsey.
Okay.
But
all right.
the guy had a boot on him.
A little.
but the guy had a
The guy had a boot. Yeah, Mario's out there doing those triple jumps. Tom Dempsey also had a superpower.
A little Fat Elvis vibes too, with the sideburns.
He was a fun fat man.
He was a cool dude. He was. He was fun.
It reminded me of the Gary Cartwright
So
story.
did he, and to everybody watching the podcast, my role is to not know what's going on. Did he,
That is
so-
not Lawrence's role. He just insists on not.
He insists
so
on it.
did he like, would he, I'm imagining him like limp, like you to kick a football, to kick a field goal, you got to kind of sprint to the ball and kick it, right?
So here's actually the deal is there's a couple styles to kick. What you're thinking of is the soccer style, which is like you take 3 or 4 steps and get you get an angle on it and kick.
And you kick it with like the side of your foot, kinda.
He did it straight on, where he took 2 steps in a straight line and just toe poked it.
Which makes sense more for him, but this was like the prevalent kicking style.
It was like the granny shot of football.
Okay.
They would just kick with their toes pointing straight through the ball, which sounds so uncomfortable and like horrible. Like you're just mashing your toes every time you kick. It sounds.
Did it take forever for him to like get out there though?
Well, the thing is it was like he had, think of like everything on his foot like just cut off in the middle. So he had enough foot to like stand on and he could walk around. But early in his career, he kicked barefoot. Because they didn't, which is crazy that he played up north and it was cold and just kicking barefoot.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you should probably take care of the one good one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you probably shouldn't.
But so what ended up getting him, like, people argued about if this was like an unfair advantage for him. When he played in the AFL for the Chargers, they concocted this little leather shoe thing that was like tied in the back. So he had a totally flat surface that he would just it was like him swinging a sledgehammer at the football. And so he'd hit it with this flat surface and it'd just go flying.
And I like that the Cowboys make an appearance in the Tom Dempsey story, and of course it's them being fucking villains.
Yes.
That Tex Schramm is like the main guy who is like, that can't be legal. He's basically the bad guy from Air Bud. I know I compare a lot of people to the bad guy from Air Bud, but I find there are a lot of bad guys from Air Bud throughout history.
Yes.
You know what I mean? History is rife with bad guys from Air Bud, and apparently Tex Schramm was one of them. And he was like, hey, the league, investigate this disabled guy.
Yeah.
I don't care for his style.
And they came up with the Tom Dempsey rule, which was essentially I can pull it up. It is
Gotta have both feet.
Rule 4, Rule 5, Section 4, Article 3, Item 7. The NFL rules are much more lengthy than I imagined.
Yeah, man.
But the kicking
People take it serious.
The kicking surface must conform to that of a normal kicking shoe. So they weren't hating on the foot; they were hating on the shoe. But then the following one is Article 4, Item 3, which you can have no detachable kicking toe, which essentially means he has to have a hollow shoe where he can't just like stuff it with lead.
I
and have his
love
foot-
the idea
Nice.
of yelling at a cripple. Just being like,
Exactly.
you're doing it wrong.
But then-
somebody take his shoe off.
Yeah. The commissioner at the time, they were cool about it, where they grandfathered him in, where that was only for new crippled people weren't allowed to play in the NFL.
And actually, you know what? I take that back. Tex Schramm, he's not the bad guy from Air Bud. He was the bad guy from Hardball, the Keanu Reeves movie with the inner city kids in Chicago. He's the guy who's like, hey, he's too young to play, but then he realizes G-Baby's so small that he's like, he'll never get a hit. And so he's like, oh, never mind. Complaint retracted. But then you know what? G-Baby does get a hit. So fuck that guy.
It's really heartwarming
Fuck you,
story.
bad guy from Hardball.
For Hardball.
Saying that
a lot of movie bad guys we're hating on today.
How many cripples have played in the NFL?
A very minimal amount.
Yeah, not
wow.
very many. You
Not
look
a-
up
I mean, I'm not
disabled
talking. I'm talking like pre-CTE.
Shaquem
Yeah.
Griffin,
Oh yeah, he was a good one.
Seahawks player. He was born. He didn't have like most of one of his hands or one of his
I remember
the
that.
lower part
Yeah.
of his arm.
He got a few yards.
And he was, he was a defensive player, and he was really good in college, and then got to play at least a few years with the Seahawks, and got to play with his brother.
Yeah,
like
he
a
was in it.
good-
He was
and
in
there
the
was
league for like
the guy
7
that
years.
crippled himself in the NFL with fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blew off some fingers.
Yeah, he still
Jason
played
Pierre-Paul?
afterward. Oh, that was right. He was about to get a big contract too.
Oh yeah, he was.
And
Yeah.
do you remember that happened like twice in like a week span? 2 NFL players blew their hands off with fireworks. It was the summer of NFL players blowing their hands off.
That would
with
suck to
fireworks.
be the other guy that no one remembers.
Yeah, definitely.
He just wasn't good enough. They're just like,
Guys.
oh, well, you're gone
Sucks too
now.
because comedy goes in threes, so this is just tragedy.
We need a third player to blow
there's
his
not a
hand
third one.
off.
It's like that wasn't even funny. that just happened to you.
Rule of we don't make the rules. Rule of
Yeah.
threes. It has
Rule
to
of
happen.
three.
Who will it be?
Will it be?
But I don't know. Tom was an interesting character where it was kind of funny how he was like such a normal dude where afterward he like did an interview where he was just like, a middle-aged overweight guy. And he was like, man, the real world kind of sucks. It's like, you got to produce every day, not just on Sundays, It's like, but I'll have a bad day at the office and I come home and I still got the ball. And I remember that, hey, one day it wasn't so bad. And you're like, all right, Tom.
God, I think of this all the time. It's like being a comedian. It's like you kill.
Way to put that in the most depressing terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kill for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then you get off stage and you're like, I guess I'm me again. Like the high used to even last longer. It's like drugs. Like the high used to last longer. And now it's like by the time I'm just like
In the car.
Both feet off of the stage, and I'm like, I guess I'm just me.
That's like Dez's joke of just like, last night I was somebody.
Yeah, I was somebody.
Yeah, I know you're yelling at me now at this UPS sorting facility, but
Yeah.
last night I was somebody.
How long was this cripple in the league?
He had like a 10-year career. He did good.
11, I think.
Yeah.
And he
was-
still had to go to the office?
Oh, yeah. Well, this was like also in the 70s and 80s where
Wow.
like they weren't. That was kind of, I was getting into the Gary Cartwright thing where he used to talk about how like the NFL used to be like a working man's league.
Yeah.
Like they all had, fucking off-season
Drew
jobs.
Pearson, I saw him speak one time, and he talked about how he and I think Staubach, or he and someone else who's like in the Ring of Honor and shit,
Yeah.
like they worked at the same, I think it was like a sporting goods store, and like in Dallas in the off season, they just had jobs, and then they would
Yeah.
go to a field at night and work out and throw.
But then it was like, because Gary Cartwright
Crazy to think about.
covered
Yeah.
the Cowboys in the 70s and 80s as well. And he talked about like, it just wasn't as fancy. Like the Cotton Bowl kind of sucked and had like hay bales and like, just barbed wire fencing around shit. And,
Hell yeah.
But then even the players would like meet fans on weeknights and like get drunk with them and stuff. And it was just like a much more closer relationship with that town and the people than it is now, where now they're kind of, millionaires up on a mountain that.
I love the idea of like that was today, and they're like, oh, this dude's not my fantasy league. He had to work today.
He got called into work. Yeah. He had to do a double last night at Denny's, so
Yeah,
he can't.
Just not gonna
He's
make
not
it.
well rested.
Just not gonna make it.
That'd be fun to like have the insider information on fantasy football is how they're doing at their other jobs.
Yeah.
It's like he had a forklift accident. I don't think he's gonna be ready
not
to play.
Gonna make it. Not gonna make it.
So yeah, let's see. Tom Dempsey had the record for 43 years at 63 yards. And Matt Prater broke it in 2013 with a 64-yarder.
Both feet, probably too.
With both feet,
With
like
both
a
feet.
loser.
Oh, what a bitch!
And then in 2021, Justin Tucker nailed a 66-yarder, which was also against the Detroit Lions, which I like that.
Yeah,
just for
that's
the
fun.
legacy of Detroit having these incredible achievements happen against them.
Yeah. Hey, I like the Lions.
You would like
Big
the
fan.
Lions.
I
You
do.
and CJ.
Yeah. I love a loser. An underdog. You know what I
An
mean?
underdog.
Who else has gone 0-16? Nobody.
It's very rare. That is.
Yeah, I think they're the only ones that have
Yeah,
gone 0-16.
I think so.
Right? Yeah. So put that, on
But
the
then
Ring
let's
of
see.
Honor.
As Tom Dempsey lived in the shadows, he also died in the shadows.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
So he's not coming on the podcast.
He's not coming on the podcast.
Every time.
Every time Lawrence wants a guest.
Yeah.
So he was 73, living in a nursing home, and had dementia real bad.
Just punting milk across the floor.
They kept trying to give him meds and he just booed him.
Just kicking.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the idea of him being in a wheelchair, but he's got that shoe. He's still got that shoe on. Just breaking shins.
He just
of nurses.
laces it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he died of COVID actually. So he was a recent passing.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, so close to being on the podcast. So close to being on the podcast.
He almost made it.
He almost made it here.
But then his weak will let him succumb to COVID.
Yeah, what a bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
Would it really suck to be a senior in a senior living care facility during COVID? I gotta say, that sounds like a real nightmare. You can't go anywhere, you know? You're just like, well, guess I'll die.
well, I guess I'll die, yeah.
We had that a ton where there was like a nursing facility down the street from my old fire station where it's like when COVID
you a
hit.
fireman?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew or not.
You're a firefighter.
But we'd go there pretty regularly. And they just had them in a wing to themselves.
Was it to help or was
man.
you just picking up a body?
You were there to help. But there was like,
Well, that's better than what I thought.
Yeah, it was, hey, we'll take them to the hospital and they can pass away there. Well, that was actually
this is taking a dark turn.
Yeah.
That's actually a thing of like shady nursing homes where it's like, man, don't be broke when you're old.
Yeah.
Because there's some bad stories we have where it's like they'll call in a CPR and they'll be like, I was talking to him this morning, like 30 minutes ago, a nurse was speaking with him, and they just are totally have rigor mortis. And it's like, this guy's been dead for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
I think y'all are lying to me, but if we take a CPR out of their facility, then it's on us, not them, for having a death in facility. And so if somebody dies in their facility, they try to get them out last minute. The shady ones, at least. They're just like, he just went down. We saw it.
I'd like to think Jack Dempsey went with his
Tom Dempsey.
with his with
Tom
the Tom
Dempsey,
Dempsey.
but, yeah.
Dempsey brothers. I hope
His famous brother, Jack Dempsey.
yeah, the
Famed
other one.
boxer. It might be his dad.
Famous for having 2 feet. And, I hope he went out with his shoe on, his famous shoe, and
think it's the way you
without
would've
the
wanted.
knowledge that someone else had broken his record.
Tex Schramm showed up at the funeral and was like, that's not allowed.
Which, so, you know what? We don't know how long his struggle with dementia lasted, but there's a chance
He doesn't either.
that he does not know that his record was broken.
Oh, that's good.
There's
That's
a chance.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank God for dementia.
Yeah. No, shout out dementia.
You gotta give the positive some light too with all the cons.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's Tom Dempsey.
How many teams did he play for?
2.
No, wait, more than 2.
Yeah.
Because he played for the Saints first, then the Eagles for 4 years, then
He was on the
he was
in
on the
AFL.
Oilers.
So he's this dude's able to kick record-breaking field goals, and they were still trading him away.
Oh yeah.
Well, he had like, for instance, the year after he hit the record thing, like he was kind of erratic. The year after he hit the record thing, he came to training camp and hit 1 of 8 field goals, and they cut him.
Wow, 1 of 8. 1 of 8. The Cowboys will keep you.
So then,
We'll let
We'll
you
keep you
lose
for 6-7 years.
We'll let you lose
And then we'll cut you, and then you'll miraculously be good again.
Yeah.
That's our streak with kickers.
hey, how about this guy though from Plano?
I don't know. We had a guy
He used
from
to
Plano.
be our new kicker.
Yeah.
He was drafted to the MLS in 2017. Former
Nice.
pro soccer player. Now he's kicking for us and
Fuck yeah.
hit a lot of field goals yesterday. He did good.
Yeah. But that's the story of Tom Dempsey. But football's in full swing.
Tom the Bomb Dempsey.
Tom the bomb, the right sledgehammer of God Dempsey.
Yeah, that's on his tombstone.
If he had played like
God's
20,
right foot.
if he had played like 20 years earlier, his nickname would have definitely just been No Hand. You know, it would have just
No
been like
Hand
his
Dempsey.
most obvious, disability. That's what nicknames used to be. That are just like racial epithets. Did you know?
I do like nicknames being obvious disabilities.
Did you know Joe DiMaggio's?
one hand guinea over here.
Yeah.
That was
That was his
that
name.
was probably a guy in 20s baseball. Joe DiMaggio's nickname was the Big Dago.
I like the idea of just multiple people in wheelchairs, me being like, "Who do I call Wheels?" I don't think this is so confusing. You all look the same to me. And
Three Finger Brown.
Is that one?
Mordecai Three Finger Brown. You
That
know why they
sounds-
call him
Mordecai.
Three
You don't hear a lot of
Fingers?
Mordecais anymore.
Because he has
That's good.
3 fingers.
Very straightforward. I like that.
I like that. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
With a 20s ball player.
But I'm balls deep in football right now.
Sure.
I do this every year when it starts. There's like a 6-week window where all I do is watch football.
Yeah.
And then I
love
burn
it.
out eventually. But it's good right now.
Yeah.
I play. You play fantasy, right? You're in one league.
Yeah, my season is going disastrously.
Oh my God! What's happened to you?
I have Nick Chubb.
I have Nick Chubb too,
which
which is never good when he gets hurt.
Cooper Kupp.
And the announcers went like, we're not going to show that.
Yeah.
It was jarring to the audience.
Yep.
We just showed it to.
I didn't see the thing live, but they were like about to throw it to halftime, and they were like, Nick Chubb suffers a gruesome injury. I was like, oh no.
Whenever they say not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know it's not good. They don't just throw that one around.
Well,
It's like a gladiator sport, and they're like, that was bad.
They used to show the fucked up injuries like 9 times on replay, and they kind of stopped that.
Yeah.
Which they showed it live in the stadium. And so you could, like, they're getting ready to cart them off, and you could tell it's playing in the background, and just the entire crowd goes, oh! Like, just how terrible it was.
It was terrible. Yeah, it was
I am
really terrible.
not playing fantasy football this year.
Yeah.
I was ruled. I got a red flag. I was ruled too unstable to be in the league. But we're hoping next year, though. We're really hoping next year.
So I'm sitting out. I'm doing my league suspension. Next year, I'm coming back.
I've been out a couple of years. I was in it for 10, though, So, I mean,
Yeah. Were you like not sitting in the lineup and stuff?
No. It's all off-field behavior. It's not on-field behavior, But we're hoping,
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm on the free agency.
Yeah, we're looking up. Things are looking up.
We used to have a comedy league that is now defunct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I'm in a
kind of
comedy
makes the
league.
games more fun to watch, but I haven't played it in
Is that
so
the one
long.
that like Don was in?
Yeah.
I think I was in that one like 1 or 2 years. So
It's
we're
fun until
former
people
league
aren't
mates.
paying attention,
yeah,
not setting lineups.
we have one where
Yeah, you
there's
need people to pay attention.
there's a punishment in it to kind of. So it's not even. I'm not even trying to win it. I'm trying not to get
Open
last.
mic comedy.
That would be a funny one. It was like raised as a punishment, and I was like, oh, it'd be funny like to get you on a good show and like have people throw tomatoes at you, and we could probably facilitate that. But we're doing a bodybuilding competition, so you have to do, and we're all chipping in and getting like the tanning oil to make them just dark as shit,
Oh, that's fun.
and then have them like compete in a bodybuilding, and they're all like built like me. We're like. I'm not in the
great.
worst shape in the world, but
Not
if you
great,
put me
though.
on a bodybuilding stage, you're like, who's the fucking tubby piece of shit here?
I do like that they're doing open mic comedy to bodybuilding. Like that's great.
Well, and
How many open mics did we sit at back in the day? Where like,
No, those were the best. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
but
they
it
were-
was always like this is their punishment.
Yeah. Their punishment's what we do on Wednesdays.
yeah.
But that was always like the good crowds where they'd like try to hide them in the middle of the lineup because you couldn't have all their friends sitting there
they'd
until
be
like
bitching too,
midnight.
I want to go up, and you're like, well, you gotta wait because we rarely get this many people in here. You gotta wait.
We're going to punish your friends for an hour before you go up.
Yeah, 2 hours, 3 hours if we can get away with it. Yeah.
But I don't know. College football's on. Love that shit.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Colorado to win the national championship,
Yeah.
although they won't.
Sure.
I'm into it.
You don't know that.
It's true. That's why they play the games.
That's why they play the games.
Yeah.
Any given Saturday. Isn't that what they say?
That's the old saying.
The old saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything going on with you, Lawrence?
No, I went and performed for a wildlife conservatory on Saturday.
Nice.
That doesn't sound like it was fun.
Well, it was a black tie event. Nobody told me that, so I came walking in like this, and apparently they were upset about it later. I found out.
How many people were there?
Probably 70.
Captive
something.
audience? They were paying attention?
Oh, they were great. Like getting
Nice.
applause breaks, everything is good. And then the next day, I got a phone call from the booker, the corporate booker that books me for all these things, and he's like, "So they hated you guys on Saturday," and I was like, "I thought he was joking." And he goes, "Yeah." Like he listed all the complaints, a few of them very valid, but none were like about the set.
What were the complaints?
And
Lawrence showed up in a tank top eating food out of the trash cans.
they thought the opener might have been high or smoking weed in the parking lot.
Who was it?
Shiva. And
Was he?
And then we were not
reasonable complaint.
We
for
were
Shiva.
not dressed appropriately. Okay, and we didn't talk about the wildlife conservatory enough. Fair,
all fair.
all fair. All three things that
You got to talk about the wildlife.
yeah, I don't have any
conservatory.
rhino giraffe jokes.
Yeah. I got a hot 15 on wildlife conservatories.
Yeah, they should have sent you. And I wish it seemed like it went well. You know, everybody had a good time. The check cashed. But yeah, apparently they hated us. So it's weird.
Like, it
It's
felt
weird.
like a good
It's
time.
weird to hire somebody to come out and have them drive 3 hours to you, and
Yeah.
then laugh at everything they say, and then be like afterwards, be like, "We hated that."
That's for
We
sure.
hated that.
The one person, and it wasn't about how good the show was. It was the one person that booked it.
Yeah.
Was just like, you didn't send them in suits, or they didn't. Which is also kind of the booker not telling y'all that
Well,
shit.
the booker was great because he was like, "Did they tell you it was black tie?" I go, "No." He goes, "Well, I didn't tell you that either because I didn't know."
Yeah.
And he was like, and the reviews were all not based on the comedy.
Yeah.
And I've worked with him a ton of times. So he's like, "You're fine."
Yeah.
It's more just busting balls. Like, this happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but like, it was, yeah, it was a pretty funny experience. They made me do a meet and greet.
After the thing.
No, before, which is such a terrible
Not
idea.
the way to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to, like, I love the old Chappelle bit about how, like, I'm Evil Knievel, you know, like, I get paid for the attempt.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we should shake hands after, you know what I mean?
If you want to.
If you want to, yeah, but to shake my hand before is a dangerous
Yeah.
maneuver, you know?
Yeah. Then they're like, oh, the comedian, he's going to be great. Let's talk to him.
Yeah.
And then you get up talking about your queso. And you're just like, oh, no.
You guys ever look at queso?
That's one of my favorite jokes of yours. I know you haven't done it in forever,
I haven't
but
done it in 7-8 years, yeah. But yeah, I remember at one point you started repeating it to me, and that's when I knew, like, oh, it's time to drop this bit.
It was about how queso's obviously bad for you because if you let it sit for 10 minutes, that film gets over the top.
Yeah.
But he said it better, but that was the
Well, I mean,
premise.
the idea is, like, if you, when you're eating something that you later cannot scrub out of a dish, no matter
Yeah,
what you
probably
do,
not good for the old arteries.
probably not good
Yeah.
for what's going on inside of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I did Rose City on Saturday. That was fun.
Nice.
It was cool. I brought Nathan Revis and LaRon with me.
Oh, okay. I
So
don't know
got to
Nathan,
see
but-
LaRon. Nathan Revis is a newer guy.
Okay.
And I think it was his first time doing 20 minutes.
Ah.
So it's kind of fun seeing him do it.
Yeah.
Which I think he did like 17 and a half.
That's a great environment,
Got
though.
close. Yeah, very friendly. He was super. You could tell he was down about it afterward.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got rattled at the end with he was doing like, he's a Hispanic guy. He was doing a couple like race jokes.
I hate to hear that. We don't
And
need any
these
more of these.
two black ladies in the front just gave him the business. Just derailed it, and then he had to kind of like, he had one more like one liner, and it got a decent reaction. He was just like, I'm gonna run away now.
Yeah.
You could tell that was kind of the attitude, but he did good.
Yeah. But if he was upset about it, that probably means he's going to be good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And also, I told him of like you got to record your sets and listen to them, and then like my thing of I write down how I thought it went before I listen, and then how it actually went afterward.
That's smart.
And it's like you normally are upset that like he was upset that at the very end he got like shook up by a crowd thing, and then he had a couple jokes not land, but he forgets like the 85% of it that went great.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on the bad.
And you're doing 20 for the first time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're probably on the road for the first time.
Yep.
You know
And
what I mean?
I think
These
it
are all-
happens vice versa too, where like I'll feel like I killed, and then I'll listen to the set and just be like, "You just did good."
Yeah.
Calm
yeah.
down. Where you're-
But sometimes I don't even want to watch the tape. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it's nice to leave feeling good. I don't need to find out later. Like, this
Yeah.
was not good. You know what I
I
mean?
have the opposite. I'm like, I watch every tape, listen to every
Really?
recording.
Do you
Oh, yeah.
not get so beaten down by like, I have to scrub past like the first, like I have one interesting set on my phone that I haven't watched back yet because it was one where I was just angry. Like
Yeah.
even when I got up there, I told the audience, like, you know, you imagine you having a shitty day and then coming home and everybody's like, get on stage, make us laugh. You know what I mean? It was at least interesting in that way, but like I still haven't gone back and watched it. Like I struggle.
I think the consistency of it gets you over that.
Yeah.
Where it's like I just like listen to them, and you get over even like ones that I bomb. I might wait another day or two and just be like, all right, just play it. And then you just do
It's
it.
a struggle, you know.
You rip
It's
the
just-
Band-Aid off and just go for it.
Just like tripping over a door frame and someone being like, you want to replay that? No,
No, I don't.
I'd rather not. Like, well, it's going to help you not trip over it next time. I'm
Yeah.
like, I think I'll just not trip over it next time, you know?
Until you trip over it the next time.
Yeah, and then I still don't want to watch the replay.
But I did Joe Rogan's Club again too.
Oh,
Just
yeah?
the open mic. So I've done a couple crew shows there, the open mic a couple times, and it's always wild how fun it is. Where it's just like everyone's funny and the crowd's always packed.
When is the
Nice.
open mic?
Sundays and Mondays. The open mic's hit or miss because
Yeah.
it's an open mic.
I might try to go out there just to like experience it, just to see it.
Yeah. It's definitely worth it, man. It's like it's the best club in the country right now. Like
Yeah.
for sure. Everything's fucking packed out. Shane Gillis is moving there. Everyone that's rich and wants to save on taxes is going to come to Texas eventually.
I might get a room and just go out there for a night or two.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get on a bunch of shows out there. Oh, Mike, what'd you just drop?
Drop my phone.
Oh, God damn it.
What's going on with you, Scott?
Oh boy,
You're always our closer.
not shit, man. I've been watching Below Deck all day. Do you watch Below Deck?
I do with
Never
the
heard of
wife
it.
sometimes.
It's a season I've never seen, though. You know, I
I
don't really
feel
know
like-
these people.
What is Below Deck?
I mean, I know
it's a-
some of them.
It's a Bravo show where it's about a yachting company that takes rich people out on like week
Yeah.
trips.
Do they die?
No one's
No.
died yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a reality show.
Oh,
And so it's just, it's all
They're
hot.
sometimes disappointed in the service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the stakes aren't as high as it.
Okay.
No, it's just good reality TV because it's all the people that work on these luxury yachts that these rich people go on. They're
Yeah.
all like young, hot
And they're banging.
people, and they work, and then they get a night off and they get hammered and fuck each other and get into a bunch of drama. And so it's tailor made for reality TV.
Yes.
Really. Lots of.
So it's about the people that work on the yachts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
They make good money?
I don't
pretty good
know.
money. It's like
There's always a strange moment at the end where I know it's reality TV, so it's scripted, but they go through the tip the people left.
yeah.
And it always cracks me up that like no one would leave a bad tip being on camera, you know?
And yet some people have.
Yeah.
It doesn't
What are the
happen
tips?
a
Is it
lot.
like a group tip? Is it like a tip
Yeah,
to like the whole staff?
they tip the whole staff, and they usually get like a little over 1,000 each for like a single charter, which is, I don't know, is that like 3 days or
Yeah.
something like that?
Oh, wow.
Which if you're billing $50,000 on taking a yacht out for
Yeah,
4
it's
days,
like seasonal
Jesus
work. Like you
Christ.
go out for a season and you make like, I think I saw a season finale today, and they said they made like $13,000 a person, but it was just, I mean, that's a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're all hot and flush with cash.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking Greece or whatever.
Yeah.
In the Mediterranean somewhere.
Hell yeah. I want to be hot and in the Mediterranean.
Every guy is
Well,
a real Tom
You're a
Dempsey.
plane ticket away.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you hot fucking piece of ass.
I
you.
tried to buy a plane ticket. I told you that story, and my phone wouldn't let me. You know?
Your phone wouldn't let you buy a plane ticket.
I tried to buy a ticket to Vegas to live out my dream. And the phone said, just try again tomorrow. And I was like, all right. And then
Yeah.
the feeling died down.
My money's on user error on this. It was.
No, I tried pretty hard. Like I was,
Yeah.
I'd had a few drinks in me. Like I wasn't backing down. Like I
But
was.
yeah,
I
believe this
I
is
was
like
full on Lawrence.
Yeah.
I was not.
This is like
yeah.
watching a monkey try to get a treat out of a thing, and he's like, "I'm not backing down," and he's just fucking with levers.
Like my hands stuck in a cookie jar. They just said suicide. And I'm like, I can't get it out of here.
It's like,
Yeah.
like the most disappointing Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas sequel.
Yeah.
It begins, and it's just like,
Yeah.
well,
Fear
never
and
mind.
depression in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's mostly just the room.
My
scenes.
ADD really does save my life a lot. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna kill it. And I just get distracted.
Yeah, I'll watch a movie instead.
There's a lot of good TV on, you know?
Yeah. I struggle sometimes to like find good stuff to watch. I watched the Constantine movie last night. Very good. Great
The
film.
Keanu Reeves one.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It's a great fucking
I
movie.
like that genre of like, it's not fantasy. Yeah,
It's
it is.
fantasy.
It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Of like demons and devils. And,
Yeah.
Like, Constantine was good. I watched Van Helsing in theaters like 3 times.
That's aggressive. You
It
do
was
love
aggressive.
fantasy.
I was I think in like 8th grade or 9th grade or
Okay.
something.
All right. I was thinking last week or something.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to see Van Helsing more than once.
Yeah,
And
or in
there's-
the theater.
I could argue you probably should see it once.
Yeah. Constantine was great. I could watch it again right now. Like it
Yeah, it was
was,
a good movie.
fantastic.
Well, I've never seen either of these movies, but they sound great.
Yeah.
I can say. I
Yeah.
know what Van Helsing is about, at least.
Van Helsing, yeah. You get
Hunts
it.
Vampires, I believe.
Thank you, Scott.
You know that guy?
I forgot his name. Who plays Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Certified beefcake.
Certified beefcake.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Van Helsing. He was
Ah.
the title character.
I bet. You know, you can't make him second fiddle.
No, you got him. This is
You don't-
before
you don't put
Wolverine,
certified
too.
second.
Yeah, this is when he was establishing himself as a main
Which I
man.
watched the movie Swordfish. I forgot he's like one of the main characters. Have you seen Swordfish?
No, but I
Yeah.
know Halle Berry is naked in it.
Oh yeah, like they can't stop getting her naked in it. Like
Yeah.
it is like, and for no like for just egregious reasons.
Yeah.
It's like but
Which is something no one's ever been mad at.
no,
Getting
it's,
Halle Berry
it's
naked.
great.
Halle
She's
Berry.
amazing.
Halle Berry.
Hurricane Chris, if you want to come on the show, we can get a fourth.
Yeah, or Halle Berry.
That was Hurricane Chris, right? Or Halle Berry.
I've never heard the name Hurricane Chris.
Hurricane Chris?
Yeah.
Old boxer. Used to fight Sugar Ray Leonard, I think, you know?
You're lying. That's the rapper that sang the Halle Berry song.
Oh, wait. No, he's saying A Baby. Who's saying fucking Halle Berry? It's going to kill me. Because
We're going to find out.
I feel
We're ending on this.
I feel like the guy who sang it is from Dallas, too. Oh, it was Hurricane Chris. Halle Berry, parentheses, she's fine.
Was it just implied or like a background singer was singing it?
Halle Berry. No, it's just part of the title. They don't I don't think they say she's fine.
They just yell her name a lot.
She walked like a model. I remember that. She walked like a model.
Well, you heard it here first. Halle Berry is an attractive woman.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
It's very fun to say, to sing along to that song. You know, it's fun to say Halle Berry that way. Give it a try right now.
Halle Berry. It's
Halle
enjoyable. You feel it on the inside.
You can go low with it with a friend. Like you can they can do the high.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. My point is, Hurricane Chris is one of our greatest artists, and we
Dallas's own. We should do an episode on Hurricane Chris.
I'm not sure if he's from Dallas now. I came really unprepared to talk this much about
Hurricane
the song
Chris.
Halle Berry.
The research was not done.
Hey, baby. You remember that song?
Yeah. See you in the club. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
That's what he's saying to the ladies he's chatting
catchy.
up. Hey,
It
baby.
is catchy.
Yeah. So until next week,
They
when we
love
find
it.
another cripple guy who is good at football, believe in yourselves.
Keep it locked.
Keep it locked.